Hey, I'm Christy Jordan, author of SouthernPlate.com and editor-at-large for 7-Eleven magazine. You know, each month millions of people look forward to getting this magazine in their mailbox, and I'm definitely one of them. I get most excited about seeing what recipe they're going to have featured on their cover, because you know 7-Eleven recipes are always good. So this month, November of 2011, we have pumpkin pecan cheesecake. Doesn't that look amazing? And I thought, wouldn't it be fun if, let's see, this is a Sunday afternoon, I got my husband behind the little camera, and together we are going to cook the cover of Southern Living. Alright, now this recipe calls for using a 9-inch springform pan, and it says it's going to fill it very full. Well, you know, I don't own a springform pan, so I've never actually, well, I've used one before, but I don't know where the thing is, and I'm not going to dig it up. And I figure chances are, if I don't have a springform pan handy, you probably don't either. So what I'm going to do is adapt the recipe instead, and I'm going to cook it in a 9x13. Everybody I know has a 9x13, so it just makes it more manageable. To start with, we're going to have to make our crust. We got some graham cracker crumbs and some melted butter. We'll pour that over it, and just a little bit of brown sugar. Now the recipe also calls for some chopped pecans, but you know pecans are so expensive. And I used them already to make the pecan pie topping. There's like a little praline pecan topping for it. So I'm not going to put any more in my crust because I'm just a little too cheap to do that. But you know, recipes are meant to be adapted. Alright, so I've got this all stirred up. We're just making a graham cracker crust with some graham crumbs, some melted butter, and a little bit of brown sugar. And I left out the chopped pecans because I'm too cheap. So we're just going to pour this into our 9x13 pan and get all that out there. And then I'm just going to pat this down with my hands some. And you can let it come up the side like they call for in the recipe, and it'll just make your piece of cheesecake come out a little easier. This is also going to be a little bit easier to serve. You know, we're just going to have nice little squares and we can top them how we like. Alrighty, I've got this done. Now I'm going to put this in the oven for 325. I think it says, let's see, 325, 8 to 10 minutes until lightly browned. Alright, I've got my crust baking. That's going to take, oh, it looks like it's got about 5 more minutes. So we got just enough time to go ahead and assemble our filling. To start with, we're going to need cream cheese. We're using a lot of cream cheese for this, but remember, they said that 9-inch springform pan was going to be very full. So I've got 4 bricks of cream cheese, and I'm going to add that into my mixer here. You know, I saved $1.50 per brick by buying generic cream cheese. So over the grand scheme of things, that saves a lot of money for this recipe. I'm also going to add in my granulated sugar and a little bit of vanilla. And I always, whenever it calls for vanilla, I always just kind of pour it in there. Alright, now we're going to just mix this until it's smooth and creamy. There we go. Wow, that was fast. Okay, it helps to have your cream cheese really softened because this came together pretty fast. Now we're going to add in our eggs. We've got 4 eggs. Oh, put them over here. 4 eggs. And it says to add those gradually, beating after each one. I'm not a gradual person. This will be just fine. And while that's going, I'm going to add in just a little bit of lemon juice and my pumpkin. This is canned pumpkin. It calls for 1.5 cups, which is about what a can equals. I think it's about a 15-inch can. You can get this recipe in the issue of Southern Living, or you can go online. This is why my stand mixer is always dirty. Get that good and mixed up. Okay, now I'm going to stop it and scrape down those sides. Okay, I've got my batter all smooth and creamy, and I've got my crust baked. So now we're just going to spread this, which, oh man, it looks delicious. Pumpkin and cheesecake all in one. Only Southern Living can come up with this stuff. Okay, well maybe I could not. Just kidding, just kidding. Y'all know you love these recipes. Okay. And you know the cool thing is, most people don't realize how rigorously the recipes are tested at Southern Living. I've got to sit it on a tasting before, and let me tell you something. Before it goes in the magazine, it has to get a gold seal of approval here. Okay, I've got this in my crust. So what I'm going to do is bake this. Let's see what the recipes say. 325 for 1 hour to 1 hour and 10 minutes. Now keep in mind, I've altered this recipe some, so I'm going to have to keep tabs on this and make sure I don't overbake it since it's in a more shallow pan here. You know, we're always free to tweak our recipes a little bit, but if you tweak a recipe and it doesn't turn out exactly like they said, it's our fault. So I'm going to keep tabs on this in the oven. I am going to put it on 325, and I'm going to check it after 50 minutes just to make sure. And we'll be back when this beautiful thing is done, and we will make our, let's see, praline topping, which is going to be brown sugar, whipping cream, butter, powdered sugar, and vanilla. Wow, this is going to be amazing. Okay, confession time. The recipe said to let it cool completely for an hour and then to put in the fridge for 8 to 24 hours. I ended up having to go out of town. So mine was in the fridge for about, not quite 36 hours. So I'm here today to go ahead and finish it up. I've gotten several phone calls from my family while I was out of town wanting to know if they could eat this cake. And I told them they had to wait till I get back. So they're going to be excited for me to finally put the praline topping on this. First we got to make our praline topping. This is a real simple one. It's a cup of brown sugar, a little bit of heavy cream, and some butter. I've got it in a saucepan, and I'm going to bring it to a boil while stirring constantly and let it boil for about a minute, and then we'll be done. Let that cool, and we'll pour it over our cake, so we'll get to taste it soon. Alright, I've made my praline sauce. I brought those 3 ingredients to a boil, let them boil for about a minute, just like the recipe said. And then I stirred in some powdered sugar and vanilla, just like the recipe. And my kitchen smells like a candy kitchen. As you can see, my little vultures are here. I'm going to pour this over my cake. It smells like one of that candy kitchen I went to in Savannah. Oh my goodness. Doesn't that look good? Brady, you wanted to eat some?
Give me it.
It's almost ready.
Give me it! Do we have it now? Do we have it now?
We can almost have it. And when I cut this, I'm going to let this cool for just a minute, and then I'm going to top it with these little praline pecans that I made according to the recipe.
Give me the cake.
I will give you the cake. Alright, we're almost ready. So,
Give me the cake!
I'm going to let this cool, and then I'm going to serve it to my family. I am Christy Jordan, and I cooked the cover. Thank you, Southern Living. Bye-bye.
Hi. Bye. Bye.